There are 100 strips of 3.5-inch wide fiberglass cloth. This is the double biased mat. And here is our little area where we're going to be wetting these epoxy strips on this tray. And then here's our epoxy area. There's one can of epoxy. There's another can of epoxy. Okie dokie, baby. You ready for it?
Ready.
All right, let's make it happen. We're rolling now. We've made it that far down the boat. I'm gonna put the GoPro on my head and kind of show you the process. I'm doing 4 pumps of epoxy. This is using the 206 slow hardener. All right, here's our next strip. Pour on the epoxy. Now my tray's not quite long enough for these strips, so I'm having to stop right there. Do the epoxy pour, leave the cup upside down so it can be kind of draining into the tray. Wet out the cloth, dab it all over the place until it turns uniformly translucent. Laying it over to the middle. Picking up this side, laying it over to the middle. And then using this epoxy that I poured out from the cup to wet out these areas. Try not to really bang on this, you know, the spots where the folds are, because you can damage the fiberglass by folding it hard over itself. I pick up this side, kind of roll this side up, because it does kind of stretch out and elongate if you let it hang under its own weight with all this heavy epoxy on it. Carry this down here, try not to trip. Lay it on the last piece with about a 1-inch overlap. Keep in mind, this is not a tutorial, this is just how we are doing it. Do not follow our example. We don't know what we're doing. We're just doing the best we can. And then roll this stuff out. Be sure it overlaps the top slightly. All right, and I get it roughly in position, like so, and then Tambi rolls it. She'll take this little roller guy and roll it all down nice and smooth. Be sure there's no air bubbles underneath while I go back and do it again. How long did that take? We did half the boat, one layer.
20 minutes?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, not too bad. Cool. Everything going fine with your process?
Yeah.
Yeah, rolling?
Just rolling.
Rolling, baby. Rolling, rolling, rolling down the river. Do, 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 do. All right. Ooh.
It's gross.
In some weird way, I find that attractive. What's wrong with me?
I don't know.
Am I a man or an animal?
Animal.
A manimal? Oh my goodness, Tambi, I think you're right. All right, I just want everybody to observe Tambi's new technique for applying sunscreen. So what she does is she puts on one of her latex gloves so that it doesn't get all soaked into her hand, right? Mm-hmm. I tried it after she did this, and I don't know, something about wearing a latex glove as I rub myself down with lotion. I don't know, there was just something kind of weird about the whole thing. So
you get all the sunscreen on your leg instead of half of it on your leg and half of it soaked into your hand.
I mean, it sounds pretty common sense when you explain it like that, but I don't know, something just about that combination of rubbing lotion onto yourself while wearing a latex glove is just peculiar to me.
Rubbing down a naked chicken with butter?
Yeah, except in that example, I'm the naked chicken. All right, we're back. Tambi's getting geared up, getting hydrated. She's got her little hat thing there soaked to try to stay cool. It's warm out here.
It's very warm out here.
All right, we're gonna be laying on some more fiberglass, and it's pretty much gonna be the same exact system we set up last time. I guess I could, for anybody else who may be doing a project like this, I'll kind of tell you our routine. And what we did was, I would, basically I would wet down a strip of this cloth and pick it up and go lay it on. And while I was laying it on, getting it all in position, Tambi would come back to the our epoxy area here, and she would mix up a cup of epoxy and then just leave it in the tray. And then she would go roll on the strip that I had just laid down, and then when I get back here, then I have a cup of epoxy waiting on me, ready to go. And it saved a lot of time. Otherwise, the roller person really is just kind of standing around waiting on the other person, but doing it this way, it was actually much more efficient, like a lot more efficient. Yep. Yeah, so, okay, one more little detail here before we start is we want to avoid stacking up these overlap sections. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's one strip of cloth ends right there, and the next one starts right here. So there's this 1-inch overlap. We want to avoid stacking those on top of each other. So whenever we start this next strip of cloth, we're going to start with a slightly shorter piece. And then that's going to put, the overlap section, back in this area somewhere. And then on the next layer, we're going to do an even shorter piece, and that's going to put the overlaps back here. So just trying to stagger those so we don't end up with a really tall spot. Yeah, there's going to be lots of fairing involved one way or another, but that's just one little step that may help minimize some fairing. So for the liner for these trays, what we're using is just these contractor's trash bags. Just pull them out of the pack, and then let's see. And then right there, just cut that end off completely. Yep. Yep. And now open it up and then split it down the middle on either side. That's how we're making our tray liners. Yep. Just like that, 2 tray liners. Stage of the project is done. So the next step from here is going to be to take these edges off, basically grind this all the way down to this surface here. Same on the outside, grind it all the way back down to the hull, and then that's when all the fairing begins. Essentially, the next steps are prep this thing for paint. I like not having a bunch of wood to worry about on a sailboat and keep varnished and all that stuff. And you know, the wood is especially problematic when there's a leaky hull to deck joint beneath it. But we no longer have a hull to deck joint. We have essentially deleted our hull to deck joint. Now it's just a matter of making it pretty, which is going to take some time and some effort and a whole lot of sanding, but we're going to make it happen. And there's the beautiful Tambi.
Hello.
Talk to me for a minute. Back up a little bit. There you are. Sit down under the air conditioning. How you like that?
It's great.
Oh yes. See, look at the look on her face. Yeah. All right. Talk to us about this project, Tambi. How was stage 2? How'd it go for you?
Stage 2 was better than stage 1.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't digging out all that
Old caulking.
And
Yeah.
all the dust flying everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was better.
Better?
Yeah.
Still a lot of work. It was super hot.
Yeah.
Super sunny.
It's like every time we're here, it's hotter.
I know. Who was it that said Florida was on, what'd they say?
Florida is on preheat right now.
Uh-huh. So we're not even completely hot yet, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Man. We did it. Stage 2 complete.
Yes. We are cleaning up and going for dinner.
Mm-hmm. Tambi feels like she deserves a margarita. And anytime Tambi feels like she deserves a margarita, Tambi gets a margarita. It's just kind of one of our rules.
Yep.
You did awesome, baby.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Sign us off.
See you tomorrow.
Comes off a lot quicker than it goes on, doesn't it?
Yep.
Think it's gonna be another hot one, baby.
Yeah, it is. Can already feel it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is the situation with the cap rail right now. All of this fiberglass. We've got these 3 layers of double bias mat on there, and it's overhanging the boat both inside and outside, and all of this needs to be taken down so that it's flush with the inside and the outside. And right now it's just this super gnarly, you know, it's got these crazy edges that are some scary mix between a million needles and a million saw blades, so it is very, very dangerous stuff right now. So we're gonna have to grind this off, basically. That's pretty much what we're looking for here, just getting this edge flush with the hull. So that's going to take some work. Pretty, I don't know, hopefully these belts hang in there long enough to knock a lot of this stuff off, but that's the general idea. Just sanding it down, try not to get into the hull itself too much out here. And yeah, let's see, we've got about 45 feet on this side, inside and out, so that's 90 feet times 2. So it's 180 feet roughly that we have to do this whole thing to. I'll tell you, it gives you a lot of appreciation for the dimensions and length and everything of your cap rail when you have to do a project like this and figure out how much sanding you're gonna have to do, how much fiberglass and epoxy you're gonna have to use. I mean, that is a lot of length. 180 feet of sanding. Good golly. I'm getting a hole in this belt already. I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Oh, I see. Ah, gotcha. What a mess, Tambi.
It is a mess.
Ow. Yeah, ow, ow. Needles. Gajillions of needles. Huh?
Sticky tape. And sweat.
Mm-hmm. Well, you wanted bikinis and sunshine. At least you got the sunshine part of it.
Yes.
Here's the rain we've been anticipating for the last 2 days. It's finally arrived. Okay, we are done. We are done.
We're done.
We basically got one extra day worked into this whole process. We didn't think we were going to get this far along, but this extra day of cleaning up these nasty, sharp, you know, needle-like epoxy edges, that was all just a bonus.
Yes.
But man, we had to work for it, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
That was tough.
It was.
Yeah, you really can't appreciate, there's a lot going on here, because you got the Florida heat and the humidity, and then there's the fiberglass dust, and you're sweating all over the place, but then all of the work you're doing is like 8 inches off the ground, so you're all hunched over and bent over and contorted. You know, listen, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just trying to communicate so that you can appreciate this. You know. Oh, good grief, baby! Great job, honey.
You too.
Great job. You are a lifesaver. Lifesaver.
Why?
I couldn't do this stuff without you.
I couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, well, that's why we're perfect for each other.
That's right.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give them a little tour of what we've done, okay?
Okay.
All right. Pretty cool. I mean, you probably still see some waviness in the edges. That's because it has not been, you know, faired on either side yet. There's still some small overhangs and lumps and bumps and that kind of thing. But generally speaking, even at this point, I mean, it's looking pretty darn good. And this son of a gun is tough as nails. I really think one layer of that cloth would have done the job, but we went and put 3 layers on there. We actually planned on doing 4, but when we started working with this material, we realized that 4 would have been just extreme overkill. So it is beefy as heck now. Now really what's left is just finishing it, which will take more time, of course. But that is what's next. Lots of sanding, lots of fairing. I may end up building a riser for the Genoa track to bolt to, but I haven't decided yet. And then after that, it's just, you know, fairing and painting, making it pretty. And speaking of pretty, all right, sign us off, honey.
It's been a good trip. got a lot done. And we'll, then I'll see you next time.
I will. Just me.
That's right.
Won't be the beautiful Tambi next time. Just me.
Maybe you can bring Molly with you.
Yeah, maybe I can bring Molly. Yeah, okay. All right, baby.
See ya.
See ya. See you next time.
Thank you for watching this week's episode. We have some new patrons this week that we would like to thank. The first one is Eric.
Ben and Suzanne.
And Lassa, I believe that's how you pronounce the name. So yeah, got some new patrons on board. Thank you so much for becoming patrons. And in addition to those new patrons, we also were sent some things from our Amazon wish list, which is super helpful. And the things we were sent are, so I was sent these. These are ceramic scissors. So Andy saw us basically struggling to cut all that fiberglass in our last video, and boy oh boy, Andy, if we had just had these scissors during all that cutting, oh my, what a difference it would have made. But we're very, very thankful that we have them now. So it says, great for fiberglass cutting, never loses its edge. Thank you so much, Andy. All right, Tambi, what have you got down there?
I have a giant oil extractor.
All right, oil extractor. Yeah, we used to have one of those little tiny things. It's about this big. It's not nearly enough for the oil capacity on this boat. So thank you very much. We don't know who sent this to us, but we'll certainly be putting it to good use.
Yes.
I have diesel and oil treatment from Tom.
Wow, you got a... What is that? All right, I'm just kidding. So this is the stuff that'll keep our fuel nice and clean and keep that nasty stuff from growing in it that's going to clog all our filters up. Thank you so much, Tom. And on that same note about diesel fuel and keeping everything clean, we have
Oil filters.
oil filters.
Are they oil filters? No, they're
well, they're fuel filters. You know, diesel actually is oil, so you're not wrong technically.
Not wrong.
Yeah, so these are the Recor filters that filter the fuel before it gets to the primary filter on the engine. We used all of these up that we had on the boat, moving the boat from West Palm to Jacksonville, Green Cove. So thank you so much. Who are these from? Mark. Sorry about that, Mark. Had to look at our notes on that one. Mark, we really appreciate the the diesel filters. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, what have you got there, Molly?
I have blue painter's tape.
Painter's tape, and it comes with a note from Joe. Just a few things to help you with all of the refit. That is right. We need all the help we can get. And actually, concerning tape, we've been going through some of this stuff, haven't we, Tambi?
Yes, we have. Lots of it.
Lots of it. We were also sent a PayPal donation from Captain Andy of the Flying Manatee with a note that said, a little squirt in your gas tank. So that's a huge help. I mean, these trips we've been making to Florida are 14 hours round trip, and we usually fill up the car 3 times to get there and back. So that's a huge help, Andy. Thank you so much. Wrap this video up, ladies.
We really appreciate all of your support and everything that y'all have done for us. Thank you for watching the video this week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.